One. Hello.
TJ, vibe yesterday. I feel like it's ready to kind of play another opponent, play against us.
Yeah, definitely. It's been good to play against our defense and them to go against us. A lot of good on good. So, yeah, it's about that time. Guys get tired of each other and want to play somebody else. So,
What would you ideally want to do in a first preseason game? A long time to the first game.
it's up to the coaches, whatever they feel is, suit for me. I like to be out there and, get hit once or twice or whatever just to, feel the emotion again. It's a little different than practice. So, but whatever, D'Amico decides, and I'm good with that.
D'Amico at the end of last year was real adamant about wanting to get the team over the hump, past the divisional round. I was just wondering, have you noticed a sense of urgency from him throughout these training camp practices?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's had that, since the start. Hasn't just changed, but I think every day is intentional. Every day is urgent. I think every day he's done a good job of trying to push guys to that limit to, where it's going to be hard in those games. So, personally, I don't see a difference just because he's been that way, but I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I definitely say, the other guys are starting to buy into him more.
CJ, how much does this feel like your rookie year, learning a brand new playbook again, like you had to when you came to the NFL?
Yeah, it's a little different just because, like, I know, like, more coverages. I know, like, style, trees. I know coordinators. I played against a good amount of, different schemes. So it's a little easier. And then, it's a lot of similarities from what Nick's bringing to what we're doing in the past. So it's a little similar in those lights, but it's not as hard as my rookie year was. Like learning Chinese. This year is a little bit of that, but not as much. It's a little easier.
You're taking more ownership of the offense. Where do you think that's going to benefit you specifically and the offense as a whole?
Yeah, just being able to see things that maybe coaches don't see. Being on the field, I'm able to have a different point of view. I think that'll be helpful for our guys, and it's still not going to just be easy just because we say we doing it. I'm gonna make mistakes. Also gonna do things right. So it's just learning from my mistakes and trying to be better.
Have you had to change your preparation now that you've just added responsibilities?
Not really, because even like when I wasn't technically doing that, I was still doing it just to know when I had to throw hot, know when I was getting blitzed. So it's the same thing now. It's just picking it up or learning. I mean, doing the same thing but in a different manner. And yeah, so it's I never really. I mean, I changed it a little bit, but not like a ton.
CJ, the other day you talked about being hard on yourself. Where does that come from in terms of just how you approach anything, kind of being, making your own toughest time?
Uh, Probably being like a little brother. Always like wanting to fit in with my siblings and like them that some most of the time not wanting to. So like being hard on myself, like what did I do wrong? Like for them not to let me play the game. So probably stems from that. But my siblings love me. I love them. But yeah, so it's a little bit of that. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. At times it can be, but I think I try to balance it. I ain't pimping. I'm just playing. You good? I'm messing with you.
You got the leaf setting here. It's a beautiful breeze, a little cooler than Houston. How does being at the Greenbrier affect the tone of camp for you guys?
It's to me it's the same. At least you try to treat it the same. It's a little different. It's beautiful out here. The weather's great. Different but cool. I like it. I'm a city guy, but I like the nature as well. It's cool. It breaks the monotony of camp, and you just bond with your teammates more. Ain't really much to do out here, so.
Hey CJ, can you talk about how would you assess how far along you guys are in the install? How comfortable you are with the offense? Do you know when you start the season?
Yeah, every day we're growing. Everything's starting to come a lot easier. We're starting to make more plays. Know what guys are good at in the scheme, and trying to fit the guys to do those type of things. So it's not overnight. So our defense they've been together for 3 years almost, like a lot of the same guys. So they're making calls and checks quicker sometimes and than we can, and then it's vice versa. So I think it's good. We're one of the best. I think the best defense in the league. And it's been hard, but it's also very great for us to get a good challenge every day. Yeah.
When it is difficult like that, going against the defense, or maybe a play doesn't go the way that you wanted to, how tough is it to still kind of take the lesson from the play, even if maybe this part of the play didn't go right,
hmm
this worked, let's learn from that. Like, how hard is it still to kind of take the lesson even if the play doesn't work?
Yeah, like it's the difference. It's the balance between being a competitor and then being like, fall in love with the process and not the or the progress and not like the result in the moment. Because sometimes you can throw a ball and it be look like a bad ball, but bad communication between, myself and the receiver. So that's just like one point of emphasis on, like having to work through those kinks because that's what comes in with like a newer scheme. So but yeah, other than that, like you still don't want to be turning the ball over or like see bad plays. But I think we've gotten past that part in camp, and now it's just like more competitive on both sides. And but yeah, you got to be able to still compete and like hold yourself to a standard that you're not gonna make mistakes. But when those things happen, learning from them and just having that balance.
CJ, your teammates were very happy to practice today. Damian Pierce and Christian Harris. Give you guys a boost, just kind of see the enthusiasm coming out there. Those guys have been working hard to get back.
Yeah, it's dope to see those guys come back. It's not always easy. They feel like they're like isolated from the team, and I think the most important thing is just getting them around us and around the guys. And I think those guys are pivotal to our success. And so I'm excited to see those guys come back and work their tails off.
CJ, is one thing we asked you at the beginning of the camp about Nick Caley's offense now that you've been able to go through it for a couple of weeks. How much does that excite you as far as being the scheme and things like that?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very great. He comes from a different style that that I'm used to. At least in the NFL. So it's cool just to learn something new and put another tool in my toolbox. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's another thing. Kind of to the other point was like sometimes in our scheme, our defense, it's not going to work against them, but just to get the reps down, even though like it might not even work, like it helps. And I think he's very positive when it comes to that. He understands that. So I think it's been great, to just get down our foundation, and now we're building from like more of a game plan emphasis, and I think that'll be fun.
CJ, the 1,000 yard rookie receiver is kind of becoming a lot more common. You played with some elite receivers in college and now in the NFL. What do you think is kind of contributing to that uptick?
I would just say like keeping the main thing, and staying focused on what got you there. I think a lot of times, guys come to the league and could be coaching, it could be outside noise, but they change what they've been doing. And of course, you have to like adapt, but I wouldn't say like, especially if you're getting picked in some of those top rounds at receiver, you like they picked you there for a reason. And I think like as coaching and as as a quarterback, we got to find ways to make our receivers good in what they've been doing, and of course try to make them grow. But I think it's a big part on myself to get guys comfortable in the offense, in the scheme, and make them feel like they were in college, just having fun. I think that's where you get those plays and those type of seasons. So
You also teammates being good in camp.
Wanted to ask you during camp, the team consistently worked on body language. What are some things that you've kind of done to try to consistently improve just that aspect as well?
um, I don't know. It's hard. I'm very competitive. I don't like losing. I don't like making mistakes. But I would say I just in those moments I just breathe, relax, try to just calm my mind, and just trying to just find something positive. Like I always try to remind myself like this is cool. Like I'm in the NFL. Like I don't like God didn't have to bless me with this, but He chose to, and I got to steward it the right way. And I don't think like complaining about. I can complain every day if I really wanted to, but like there's no positive in that. So I try to just try that and just be grateful for the little things. And even though they're not little, they're huge, they're big. Like I woke up this morning, and I'm able-minded, able-bodied, and I'm just blessed to have that. So I would say that helps me be more positive and have better body language.
Cam and then Steven.
I remember when you guys practiced with the Rams a couple of years ago, whenever that was, you talked about how much Sean is a teacher and so helpful.
Hmm.
Do you see some of that as well in Kaylee? I know he's your coach now.
Hmm.
Do you see some of that spill over?
Definitely, yeah. You can tell that them two guys are very close and they talk the same, like they have the same like tone of voice, which is kind of funny. Like same energy. Like Kale's, he's like a little a little turned up. Well, not a little. He's a lot turned up. He turned up to the max. And I'm more of a chill guy, at least like on the field. So yeah, it's good. It's like yin and yang, But he helps me. I help him. I think. But yeah, he's very like Sean McVay like. And so when I met Sean last year at practice, it was very similar to like what I get now in practice or like in meetings and stuff.
Last one, Steven. You mentioned earlier you've seen a lot of
I think every game you can find something. It's really just like learning the tree and like who the defensive coordinator is. Is like see a D line guy, see a backer guy, see a receive. I mean a DB guy. Because a lot of times like they try to like make plays for their babies, which is their like position group. And that's something that I try to remember. Sometimes guys just call whatever, and you don't know. So it's a million different type of defenses, and you try to just learn your foundational stuff and then grow from there. So it's really about what you do to help control that. But yeah, it's not easy. There's a lot of smart guys. I think some of the best guys I've faced. I'm not gonna go there because they're gonna put on ESPN. So thanks.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.